Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ravand English podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and today we have a very important topic. Many students tell me, Brandon, I always translate in my head. I think in my language first, then I change it to English. If this is you, don't worry. It's very normal. Today, I want to help you take the first steps to think more in English, translate less in your head, and speak more easily and naturally. This lesson is for A1 to B1 learners, so I'll speak slowly and use simple English. You just need to listen and relax. Are you ready? Let's go. First, why do we translate in our head? When you start learning English, your brain usually does this. 1. You think in your own language. 2. You translate word by word. 3. You try to say the sentence in English. In the beginning, this is okay. You don't know many English words, so translation is the only way. But later, it becomes a problem. It makes you slow. It makes you feel nervous. Sometimes the sentence is not natural in English. For example, in your language, maybe the sentence is something like, to me, very hunger is. If you translate this directly, word by word, it sounds strange in English. In English, we simply say, I'm very hungry. So, the idea is clear. Translating word by word can give you strange sentences and slow speaking. What we want over time is this: less translation, more direct thinking in English. Not perfect English. Just a shorter, easier way in your mind. Let's talk about what is happening inside your brain. Imagine you have 2 rooms in your head. One room is your first language, and one room is English. When you were a child, you lived only in the first room. You used that language for everything: family, school, friends, feelings. So, that room is very big, very strong, and very fast. Later, you started learning English. The English room was very small at first. Maybe it only had a few words. Hello, thank you, yes, and no. My name is. So now, when you want to speak, your brain usually does this. It runs to the big room, your own language. It finds the idea there. It builds a sentence in that language, then carries the sentence to the English room and tries to change it. This is translating in your head. So, if you feel slow, it doesn't mean you are stupid or bad at languages. It means your brain is using a long road. Idea, then your language, then English, then your mouth. To think more in English, we want a shorter road. Idea, then English, then your mouth. The whole episode is about moving gently from the long road to the shorter road. Now, is translating always bad? No. In the beginning, it is completely normal. When you know very little English, Your brain must use your first language. The problem is that your brain loves habits. If for a long time you always think in your language first and then translate, your brain learns this is how we speak. First our language, then English. This is safe. So later, when you try to speak directly in English, your brain feels a little unsafe. What if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? To protect you, your brain quickly runs back to the old habit. Translation. So, it's really important to understand this. Your brain is not your enemy. You're not broken. Your brain is trying to protect you with an old habit. Knowing this can already help you feel calmer. You can say to yourself, okay, my brain is just using an old habit. I can teach it a new one. So, what does it actually mean to think in English? Many people think it means speaking very fast, never making mistakes, feeling like a native speaker. This is not true, my friends. Thinking in English is something more simple. The English room in your brain becomes bigger and stronger. For common ideas, you can find simple words and sentences directly in English. You don't always go to your first language first. You can still make grammar mistakes. You can still forget words sometimes. That's completely okay. Thinking in English does not mean perfect English. It means less steps inside your brain. Again, the long way is idea, first language, English, and then mouth. The shorter way is idea, English, and then your mouth. We are not trying to jump in one day. We want to move slowly, step by step, toward that shorter way. Now, let's talk about how to do that. I'll give you 4 big ideas. You can remember them like 4 T's. 1. Accept simple English. 2. Train your inner English voice. 3. Use pictures, not your first language. 4. Be patient and notice small progress. Let's look at each key in an easy way. 1. Accept simple English. A big reason we translate is that we want to speak in a very beautiful or complicated way. Maybe in your language you can make long, smart sentences. Of course, you want to sound the same in English. So you think of a long, complex idea in your language. And then you try to move it to English, word by word. This is very heavy work for your brain. For example, in your language, you might think something like, I'm currently experiencing a lack of time and energy. If you try to translate that, you will probably feel slow and stuck. But in simple English, you can just say, I don't have much time. I'm tired today. These are not childish sentences. They are real English, and native speakers use them all the time. When you allow yourself to use short and simple sentences, your brain doesn't need to build a big structure and translate it. It can jump directly to a small English idea. So, one way to think more in English is make your ideas smaller. Say them with easy English. I repeat, one way to think more in English is make your ideas smaller. Say them with easy English. Simple English is not a problem. Simple English is a tool to help your brain stop translating so much. 2. Train your inner English voice. We all have a small voice in our head that talks all the time. I'm late. I'm hungry. This traffic is crazy. I want to sleep. Most of the time, this voice uses your first language. So your brain learns our language is for thinking. English is for tests and school. We want to change that message. We want your brain to feel English is also for thinking. English is part of my normal day. You don't need long sentences to do this. You only need tiny thoughts in English during the day. For example, you drink tea or coffee. In your head, you can think hot tea or coffee time. You see a dog in your head, small dog or big dog. You sit on the bus in your head, busy bus or many people today. You arrive home tired in your head, I'm so tired now. These are not exercises with a book. They are simple and private thoughts. Every time you use a small piece of English in your head, you are telling your brain, English is allowed here. English is normal for my thinking. This slowly moves you from English only in class to English in my real life and in my mind. 3. Use pictures, not your first language. Another reason we translate is how we learn words. Many learners connect words like this: English word, then word in my language. For example, apple, and then your language word. So when they hear apple, their brain first shows the word in their language, and only later a picture of the fruit. We want a new connection. English word and then picture. So when you hear apple, you immediately see an apple in your mind, without your language in the middle. This makes a thinking faster and more natural. You can train this in a very simple way. When you hear or read a common word, try to use a small movie or picture in your head. When you hear a bus, imagine a bus on the street. When you hear hospital, imagine the building, the sign, the lights. When you hear doctor, imagine a doctor in a white coat. Or when you hear money, imagine coins or bank notes in your hand. You can also do this when you watch a series or a film. Pause the scene, choose one thing you see, say the English word in your head, and keep the picture. Over time, your brain learns English words go directly to pictures. not to my first language. That is a big step toward thinking in English. 4. Be patient and notice small wins. Now, something very important. Time. You used your first language for many years, maybe 20 or 30 or even more. English is still new inside your brain. Remember the 2-room in it? Let's change it to 2 roads. The old road is your first language, wide, smooth, and very fast. But the new road is English, smaller, with some stones and holes. Of course, your brain likes the old road. It's easier and safer. To change this, you need to send more cars to the new road. Every small English thought, every tiny sentence in your head is one car driving on the English road. After some weeks and months, the new road becomes stronger and smoother. Your brain starts to trust it. It doesn't always return to the old road. But this makes time, my friends. It is not a 1-week project. So, instead of asking, why am I still translating sometimes? Ask, did I have one small moment today when I thought directly in English? Did I understand one sentence without translating every word? Did I say something simple in English without preparing it in my language first? These small wins are proof that the new habit is growing. Now, let's put all these ideas into a very simple daily plan. You don't need hours, just a few small actions every day. Morning. When you wake up, use 1 or 2 easy thoughts in English. For example, you might think, I'm awake. I'm tired today. I have a busy day. It doesn't need to be beautiful or correct grammar. You're just saying, hello, English. You are welcome in my mind today. During the day, choose 1 or 2 moments, maybe when you walk outside, when you wait in a line, when you sit in a bus or car. Look around and give short English labels to what you see. For example, blue sky, tall building, small shop, red car, hungry dog. Here, you are mixing 2 keys, your inner English voice and pictures in your mind. You see the thing, you say a simple English phrase, you keep the picture for a second. Evening. Before you go to sleep, think about your day using very short English sentences in your mind. For example, you might think, today was long. I learned something new. I used a little English. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. This is not an exam. It's just a small message to your brain. English is now part of my whole day, from morning to night. If you do this every day, the English room becomes more active, and the English road becomes more comfortable. Before we finish, I want to answer a common question. Will I ever stop translating completely? For most people, the answer is no, and that's okay. Even very advanced speakers sometimes translate for difficult topics, for technical words, for strong emotions. The real goal is not zero translation. The real goal is less translation in simple daily situations, more direct thinking in English when you talk about normal life, your day, your plans, your feelings, your opinions. If you can order food, talk about your job or your studies, and share simple feelings without heavy translation, you are already thinking in English more than you realize. Please don't wait for a magic day when your brain suddenly changes. Instead, look for small changes. You answer faster. You understand more without translating. You notice a few moments of, oh, I just thought that in English. These moments mean your work is paying off. All right, let's close today's episode. We talked about why you translate in your head, what is happening in your brain, what thinking English really means, 4 keys to help you, using simple English, training your inner English voice, connecting words to pictures, being patient and seeing small wins, and a very easy daily routine to add English to your mornings, days, and nights. If you translate in your head, remember, you're not alone. Millions of learners feel exactly like you. You're not weak, and your brain is not against you. You just have an old habit. And step by step, with small actions, you can teach your brain a new way. And thank you for listening to the Ravand English podcast. This is Brandon, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep giving your brain little moments of English, and slowly you'll translate less and think more in English.